what's up? It's Jasmine here and welcome back to Living with Lupus. Today I'm going to be talking about the impacts lupus has had on my self-esteem and confidence, and a little bit about dealing with and overcoming self-hate as well. I am in this sweatshirt because I'm in my mama's house and it is cold. It feels like it's winter in here. My hands were like turning colors earlier. They're not right now, they're probably just ashy. But anyways, it's freezing in here, and I made a joke to her last week that I felt like I was sitting in a morgue, and I still feel like I'm sitting in a morgue. I even snuck out there and turned the heat on. So I just decided to keep the sweatshirt on because it's nice and it's cozy. This video, I'm gonna try not to do a whole bunch of pausing and carrying on. If I'm not like looking directly into the camera, or if I'm like gazing off to the side, I just want this to feel really conversational and personal. So I just wanted to sit here and talk to you guys straightforward into the camera. Ironically enough, I am often getting compliments on my confidence and my self-esteem and my independence and how sure of myself I am. And honestly, honey, when I tell y'all, don't judge a book by the cover, do not judge a book by the cover. And I am a walking example of that because believe it or not, I have a lot of insecurities, and I have dealt with over the years a lot of self-hate, low self-esteem, and just very low confidence that was like gradually eaten away at from living with lupus and going through all the complications that came with that. So I told you guys like earlier on, when I was first diagnosed, that a lot of my flares were skin related, and that was like at the prime of when I started high school. So that's like the time where you really start like paying attention to what you're wearing, how you looking, how your hair looking, all of that. And at that time I was dealing with the most. It was like middle school, elementary school was like whatever. Even though I was still, you know, styling and profiling. But high school is when you really start paying attention to that. And so I was coming into high school as a freshman, dealing with that, and it's also the time where people are more opinionated, I think, when we're younger, kids are, but like there's a lot of like teasing, bullying, so I was like, people would make comments about my skin or make little comments about my weight, just different things like that that began to like eat away at my confidence and eat away at my self-esteem. Like just my self-assurance, I was not confident in myself. I was constantly worried about people thinking I was weird, or people looking down on me because of my skin issues. I have a fear of holes, like clusters or like bubbles, dots, just like clusters of things. I think it's called Trypophobia. Do not look it up if you think that you might be afraid of it, because it is mortifying. And if you look it up, a lot of those pictures are gonna come up. But I've always had a fear of that. I remember growing up, one time me and my mom went out, and we came back, my dad had washed dishes, and they were telling me put the dishes away. So I pulled out there was a spoon in the dish rack, and I pulled it out to put it away, and my dad had stuck it into the Fry Daddy. If you don't know what a Fry Daddy is, you need to Google it, and then you're probably young, and then you probably ain't had good fried chicken in a Fry Daddy. But my dad had put the spoon in the Fry Daddy, and so I pulled it out, and it was like bubbled, clustered up. I like instantly threw up. I was like, I had chills all over me. I was like sweating. I do not like clusters of things, or like holes, slits, lines, and all of those things that I was like super fearful of were now all over my body. I was scared to look at myself. I was afraid to touch myself. I was embarrassed like to be around people, embarrassed for people to look at me. And a lot of times people would never know that, because I think one of my ways of coping with it was to try to make jokes about it before other people had the chance to make the jokes about it. I was disgusted with myself. And so I think that is where like the self-hate for me began. That was just like the start of it. I remember being, when the rash began to spread to my scalp, and then losing my hair was probably like around 10th grade when I started losing my hair. And that's when I had to start wearing wigs or turbans, or constantly wearing like head wraps, similar to this one. When the rash spread to my scalp, my hair started falling out. And I remember washing my hair one time, and just my hands were like covered in like little beady beads. And I was like literally in the shower, like mortified, like screaming for my grandma. I was like in shock because it was just devastating to me. And I wanted to cut it, and we did cut it. But my grandma would wash my hair. She was the one who would we had to get this special like cream or like some type of mix. Like it was like a concoction. It was like mixed up from a special pharmacist. And that, it would smell like rotten eggs. And we had to put it on my scalp, on the cuts and stuff. My grandma was the only one who always had the balls to put the stuff on there. And she was like, you're my blood, you're like my daughter. I'm gonna do what I gotta do. And so she would do it. But just seeing like, not to say like that my mom was like disgusted with me or like disturbed, but it was different. It was alarming to people to see that kind of thing. Like I'm hard to look at, or like people are afraid to come near me. Just all of those things are going through my head that were constantly eating away at my confidence. And like I said, I always would try to make jokes about it or make light of the situation, but like internally I was freaking out. I became more focused on it, became more aware of it, more self-aware of just how insecure I was becoming. And I'm not gonna cry on this video. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. But just thinking back to like, I remember people would come see me in the hospital when I was looking really, really bad, where doctors were calling in like CDC thinking I had like some type of skin eating disease going on, or they were bringing in wound specialists, or doctors are coming in wide-eyed looking confused, and then they turn around and tell me like, oh, you look beautiful, or you look good, you look great. Family and friends coming in saying the same, and what I'm seeing in the mirror was the exact opposite. Like, and it started to mess with my mind as far as like trusting people and believing people, like just, and then I began to start overcompensating. I want to be, this desire to be liked or to feel like I needed to make up for what I was lacking in appearance, trying to overcompensate for that and prove myself, prove my worth, prove that I'm worthy of being liked or worthy of being loved to other people. And I guess gradually I found I was also trying to prove to myself that I was worthy of being loved, because there was a long period of time where I didn't love myself, and I had very, very, very low self-esteem. There were times where I questioned like the need to even continue to fight or continue to press on, because I felt like a burden to people. I felt like I was just a burden to my mom or a burden to my family. My mom's constantly in the hospital with me. I'm constantly getting sick. And I just started to feel the weight of all of that. And so those types of things just continue to eat away at my confidence. Having to wear wigs and turbans. Wigs are in now, but like back then, I'm worried about people seeing the lace, and I'm still worried about people seeing lace, even though I want a wig now. But it's like, feeling like a burden is still something that I struggle with to this day. I'm very stubborn when I'm having a flare. I will not go to the hospital. I will refuse to go to the hospital no matter how much pain I'm in, no matter how bad it is, because a lot of times with these flares, there's not much they can do. You go to the hospital, you go to the emergency room, and they're like, it looks like you're having a flare. They might give you like morphine or things that you shouldn't be getting anyways to like kill the pain, but there's not much they can do. And so I just always feel like a burden when I have to go to the hospital, or if my mom has to help me walk around. Even when I went on to college, I was still in that phase of losing hair. There was a time where I was completely bald and just wearing wigs, or I would put a turban on. I think a lot of people probably thought that I had hair underneath. Actually, me and my girls went to a party one time. After I took the turban off, I had bought like this big curly hair wig, and I think people thought that my hair had been growing underneath the turban. So we went to this party, and this one dude literally came up and did like a oh, your hair is amazing type grip, and literally like snatched the wig off. But it was dark in the party, and Kiana, my girl, she grabbed that wig quick. We put it back on, and we were like, I wasn't even mortified though, because it was more so funny than anything. But that was one of the areas where my self-esteem was like, I was so self-conscious about the way, I was always self-conscious about my appearance, about people liking me, about people knowing that I was bald. I remember I was talking to this one dude in college, and for whatever reason, we had gotten, I guess, close enough for me to be feeling comfortable telling him my whole situation. And I told him about it, and he was like, stop wearing that turban, like don't cover your head up. And I still have that picture to this day, the day that I took it off while we were, I think we were like FaceTiming or something. But yeah, I wore the turban for a long time, so long that I was even going by, I think my Instagram name was like the girl with the turban, which is so corny, but that was my name, and that's, people knew me for wearing that turban. I had been wearing it since like 10th grade. Now, with that being said, my confidence has definitely grown over the years. And some of the ways that that have helped with that is actually going through all of this. Losing my hair and helped me to realize that I'm not my hair, that I'm more than just my hair. Going through all these skin problems, all these complications has boosted my confidence as much as it has torn it down. It's boosted that confidence. I have a greater appreciation for life and for the smaller things. It's crazy to me when I hear people complain about like the smallest of things, or my friends are tripping over like a hairstyle didn't come out right, and I'm like, well, you could also like just not have any hair. So it heightens that appreciation for life, and it definitely has made me a little less fearful. I've kind of overcome a lot of fear. Even as far as like the skin rashes and stuff, I have the stomach for it. Like it was on me. Like you have to, like, it became a part of me, and so I was better able to I've been better able to deal with it, or look at things that would typically gross me out, or just accept, like, really and truly it's about accepting the things that you can't change and changing the things that you can't accept. Once my skin cleared up and I have been at this good weight, and just building a relationship with God and understanding that we are uniquely made and that we have a purpose, and learning to love myself, which is something that I'm still learning every day. Because like I said, for a long time, I didn't even love myself. There were times where I wanted to give up. I thought maybe it'd be easier on my family, or, you know, if I would stop fighting so hard. But I'm thankful that I found that light, that I was able to find the light and just continue to push forward and continue to have that desire and that will to live and that will for life. My confidence and my self-esteem is definitely 100% still a work in progress. I still have to this day, I still take like quarterly breaks from social media, because that is one of my weaknesses, and where I return to that desire to be liked, or that desire for other people to give me their approval. I remember like Instagram, I have my notifications turned off on my Instagram now, and I tried to turn it back on the other day and it just doesn't work. So I think I might have messed something up. But anyways, I would post something on Instagram, and constantly I'm like on there like, oh, do they like it? Do they like it? Oh, only got this amount of likes. And then I would get into this whole funk and into this whole depression of comparing myself to other people, or thinking that people don't like me, or just over analyzing. And so sometimes it's good to take a break from things like that. Take a break from social media, take a break and just spend time with yourself and get to know yourself and get to love yourself. Journaling has definitely been a huge help for me in boosting my confidence. Getting those thoughts out, because a lot of times, like I said, I kept it bottled in and would just make jokes about it. Being able to write those thoughts down, those emotions out on paper, and reflect on them, reflect on all the things that I have overcome, reflect on all the miracles that have happened in my life, reflect on my growth from the times when my skin was looking horrible, or times where doctors didn't know what to do, or, you know, basically where doctors even said that I should have been dead. Reflect on those times, and gratitude, like a gratitude journal, just being grateful for another day of life, and grateful for the journey. So just, it's about appreciating the process, trusting the process. Doing this video series has definitely taken a big weight off of my shoulders. It's been a great chance to release, and it has actually boosted my confidence in the process. Hearing people say how they are inspired by me or motivated, or asking me questions, or just reaching out to encourage me, hearing those words of encouragement are definitely self-esteem and confidence boosters. But the biggest thing for me is learning to love myself. And once you have that love for yourself, it's easier for you to love others and allow other people to love you. Because if you don't love yourself, then you don't know how to allow or tell someone else to love you to begin with. So I think I have just about covered everything as it pertains to my self-esteem and confidence in living with lupus. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to drop some purple hearts down in the comments. Like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, follow me on Instagram, and leave some purple hearts there. And as always, if you guys have any questions or you want to talk, you want to chat, feel free to DM me. I'm always available to talk, and I love talking, like I said before. So that's not a problem. That's it. I will talk to you guys on Friday. You can't get anybody to stop me.